Hey, it's Greg with Renewal Fast. I have not even made a video yet about my experience at the Woodstock Fruit Festival, which just finished. Today's Tuesday. Came home Saturday.
Woo!
After a week.
Woo!
It was great. What I want to talk about right now for a minute and just capture this moment is the issue of raw versus cooked. Vegan, okay? So I'm pretty much on the vegan trail. I'm not changing. I'm pretty committed now. I feel good. I mean, at the scale of a year, I feel terrific. At the scale of where I'm at in the past few days, I'm not feeling so good right now. My mom just moved, and we had a celebration meal, and we went out to a Lebanese restaurant, and I had hummus, baba ganoush, tabbouleh, something called moussaka, which is a play on moussaka, but it was a meatless eggplant and tomato dish, a lot of bread, falafel, potato.
Which is fried. The
Which is
falafel is fried.
Felt great going down. I was feeling
I bet.
balanced. And then the last hour, it's just catching me. And I'm just feeling... So, let me back up now. Came home Saturday thinking, yeah, this raw food thing is great. You know, I feel good, but I don't know, it's maybe overkill, you know? And maybe it is. I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm processing it.
Pending.
What am I going to do? Am I going to go
Right.
raw and, you know, I mean, I don't know if I feel that good. So here's the thing that I'm realizing is that the effect of 5 days eating raw didn't kick in until 2, maybe 3 days after I stopped. I started to notice that I was actually feeling really good, feeling really light. And yesterday afternoon I had this moment of lightness in my torso, in my gut, that I've never felt before. Lightness, but with energy and excited and feel good and no heaviness.
And I've noticed you wanted to continue doing the exercises. You shared with me some of the exercises you learned. And you're inspired, and your body is asking you to do that. And I've noticed you don't do that. You don't do that ever.
Ever. I've never wanted to exercise like that. Like craving it. I literally went on a run at Woodstock Fruit Festival one day because it was raining and I wasn't getting enough physical movement. And I'm like, I have to create my own movement. My body was like, you gotta move. And it was all the food, right? All the positive raw foods. Not just raw, but not all the stuff on it, you know?
Right, the sauces and the salt and the spices.
I had a number of
oil.
I had a number of meals where it was a big salad where I had huge globs of tomato type sauce that was made out of raw tomatoes and such. Anyway, what am I getting at? I'm getting at how I feel tonight. Kind of a sadness driven by a feeling in here because last night, later, right in the upper part of my stomach, like right up in here, solar plexus, maybe it's called. It was later in the evening. I felt like I hadn't had enough caloric intake, and so we ate some guacamole at like 11:30 at night. And afterwards, I didn't feel so good. And it was delicious raw guac that Michelle made. And in the morning, I got up and I felt it there still. It was still there. And it was filling this zone of me, creating a heaviness right in here. And I worked all day. I ate grapes. Got up this morning, ate an entire quart of strawberries. I had grapes, but I had some tea. And later in the day, I was very stressed today, and I made it through my day eating fruit. Later in the day, I had a salad, and I tried to get the salad dressing, and I put some dressing on it. It was some cheap Italian dressing that had oil in it. And the top broke, and it kind of put a lot on there. And I ate what I could, and as I got down lower, it was getting really thick, and I just was like, oh, it's just too much oil. I can't even eat it. I left that much in the container, which I never do either. It's just like too heavy. So my consciousness about fats is just so much higher now. And I go to visit my mom, and afterwards we go out to dinner and I eat this meal. And I was feeling kind of depressed about it on the way home just now. Sad, like actually feeling like I'm tear-jerked about how it feels, because it's such a heavy feeling. All of this is revealing to me something that obviously is always there, but I never notice it because you sustain the heavy feeling.
Right.
And here, for once,
it was cleared.
It was cleared out. So I notice it. I notice it filling that space, and I notice. So I just. It's not down low, like low abdomen. It's up in the upper part of my stomach. It feels up here, and.
Like a tightness? Like, describe the feeling a little more.
Like I drank too much water. Like I'm full. But it's a fullness that it's the fat. And I also have tension in my chest. Like I smoked something. I have inflammation up in my sinus, up in here. I can feel it right now in my sinus. I feel like my eyes feel bloodshotted and heavy, and I just feel a weightiness all in here. And this is what the raw fooders talk about. They talk about this fogginess. They talk about this heaviness. And so my nutshell point is that now that I'm moving away from my 5 days of raw at the Woodstock Fruit Festival, now I'm really, truly appreciating how good I was feeling. And maybe if I had stayed a second week, I would have noticed it. But you're also in such an environment.
A bubble.
It's only when I leave the bubble that I began to realize. And by the time I began to realize how good I was feeling, I was already beginning behaviors of returning back to my old habits.
Which
this is
I mean,
all
you
good.
had not ever made any commitment to do one way or another. This is just all observations and things that you're noticing.
Right.
You seem extremely aware and discriminating in understanding your body and what's going on. You're so in tune. I mean, you're normally pretty in tune as people go, but right now you're really there. You're in the zone.
I have to say, I feel like crying. I feel sad. I feel a sadness. It's a mournful feeling for my own life and my own behavior about food. It's this sense. I also listened to Arnold Kaufman's record on the way back, and I had a half hour, so I listened to the whole thing, and it just cranked it. The can't sing, can't rhyme, can't dance band. And he just talks through it, but it's all about fruits and vegetables, and it's set to music. And it's poetry, and his poetry, and listening to him express love for fruits and vegetables. And I was connecting with Woodstock Fruit Festival, and how when I was at the event, I had that feeling. There was a sense of
like being in love
affair with the fruits and the vegetables, and that's much of what you're being taught by just being in that space. So there's so much more I want to say about that. This is just one observation, but it has to do with in leaving that location, that event, that environment, I'm really appreciating how much I was feeling good. And I also don't think I'm that far away from it. It'd probably take me 2, maybe 3 days to kind of get back. But I have to work it. And so I'm now contemplating doing a raw experiment. And I'm thinking to myself, like 90 days. If I could do 5 days, what would happen if I did 50, maybe 50 days? Something like literally like maybe just 10 times that much. Because it's 90 days to Thanksgiving right now. Yeah. About 3 months to Thanksgiving. It just seems like, boy, that's something to consider. And I wasn't going to do it. I was like, raw, all right. I learned so much. I kept thinking the raw thing is excellent for rejuvenation. It's excellent for conquering sickness and disease and things. Hang on one sec, buddy. And there's another element of it, too, which is just that simple feeling great. Because, boy, was I feeling great and feeling physical and feeling like I want to engage with my body and move my muscles. And these other foods don't promote that sensation in the same way. These living foods just make you want to move. So that's my observation. Fascinating. And I'll keep you posted on how it goes. And you, Adi.
Don't drink any more coffee.
Yeah. Hey, What's your observation on now that you're back? Do you feel any different after the meal we had just now from, let's say, how we felt after we eat dinner at Woodstock?
Okay, after we eat dinner at Woodstock, I feel awesome, and I feel like I can have energy for one whole day connected to the night. But anyways, after this dinner, I feel, oh my god, this is so... That's how I feel. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Don't drink any more coffee or tea or caffeine, or I will cut you off on my YouTube channel.
Come here. We did good on our trip, didn't we?
Yeah. I'm gonna cut you off your mind. Blah, 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 blah.